My apprenticeship's in business and logistics, and that's sort of, since doing A-level business, I've really loved that. So I chose an apprenticeship over university because I thought I've always had a passion for cars, and this is going to a field that I know lots about and I already enjoy. And once I'd left uni, I'd want to go into a job like that anyway, so I just thought getting into the company sooner, it's a better way to go about it. Also, I'm getting a degree whilst doing the job, so the skills I'm learning at uni, I'm able to apply those in the job and vice versa. So I think that will really help. It's going to be a lot more. It's going to be a lot of work because both things at once. But I think it'll be really worth it. But it's also because so they pay for my degree, Rolls-Royce, and I also get a salary on top of that. So it basically gets rid of, so I don't have to worry about student debts. So I looked at lots of different apprenticeships at different manufacturers, and I feel like the one at BMW Rolls-Royce was sort of the best suited for me because they had a broader range of apprenticeships. So I looked at ones at Jaguar Land Rover and Aston Martin, other ones, but this one I felt suited me best. There's different apprenticeships within the business. So I think every year in Rolls-Royce they're taking 30 different apprentices. So you're in a certain department, so I'd be sort of the business, logistics side of it. But you move around, so you get over your 4 years there, you move around so you get a taste of sort of everything. So at the end of it, you're not just stuck. If you've decided that's maybe not for me, you're not stuck doing that, so you can go into maybe engineering or the same business, but in a different sort of area. So I do 1 day a week, I'll go to university and I'll study for my degree as well whilst doing the job. And that's what I want to go into, sort of running it, learning how everything's done inside the business, what happens behind the scenes. And there's lots of different sort of processes you have to go through. So I started off with your initial application, you do your CV, you write like a little covering letter saying why you've applied for it and why you think you're right for the job. And then afterwards, if you get through that, they read through and you go through to the next section. You go through HR, then you do online tests called SHL tests. They're not just like normative, they're like confusing basically. So you get like maths ones and English ones, just basic understanding, so they make sure you're suited for the job. Then after that, if you get through that stage, you get an interview with the line manager on the Teams, and if they like you, so that's competency based, that interview, and if they like you, go to an in-person event, which is what I did. So it was at Chichester College. You had certain exercises you had to do. So you did team building things and then individual ones. So the team building one we made, we got some paper and a few tools. We had to make a recognisable landmark. So we made Big Ben as our team. You have a certain time limit. You're basically graded on that. So it's set out of a grade and see who does the best in that. And then afterwards we had 20 minutes and we had to make a little a copper man. So you had a copper bit of wire, some pliers and a ruler, and you have to make it exactly to a template. So you have to do that in a set amount of time, so that was my individual thing. We did that all in the morning, and then we went in and we had a second interview, sort of like a presentation, to show that you're able to work independently and present stuff you found, present your work. Then after that we got chauffeur driven in a Rolls-Royce up to the factory, and we got a full tour of that, which was amazing. That was really amazing, yeah. It was a few weeks after I had the interview, so they said, so I applied for a structure planning one, and I applied for that, and that was sort of my backup one, and I got told, I did really well in the thing, but they didn't think I was quite suited to that one. And they offered me the business and logistics one, which is the one I should have gone for in the first place, and that was just perfect basically. So I really loved doing art and DT at Seaford, and I think that definitely helped with the Big Ben project. You're actually designing the thing and drawing the faces and stuff on it, especially DT, which I did when I was younger, with the little copper man using pliers and tools like that I've learnt. So basically it was initially only offered to executives of companies and stuff like that. People would go in and do these, but now they've offered it at Seaford. I think they've done it a few years now. But yeah, so you're doing it at a much younger age, so you have these skills all throughout life instead of just, when you've reached the top already, it helps you get there. So every year they take in about 30 apprentices just in Rolls-Royce, but that's across all fields and different things. But out of that, thousands of people apply each year. Depending on what course you're doing, you move around. So they have a plant in Oxford, which is mini. They also have one in Swindon, but they also have ones in Munich and South Africa and Mexico. So I'll get to move around to different places, places like 2 weeks at a time. So that'd be really amazing. I'm probably more of a creative student than an academic. I mean, I've never really struggled particularly, but it's been more creative side of it, sort of art mainly has been, and music, subjects like that. But business, I suppose that's academic, so I feel like I've done all right at that. I really enjoy that. The librarian, Miss Hamilton, she really helped me, with my CV and writing my covering letter. Also, helping reply to emails and make sure I don't spell everything wrong. She was really helpful, yeah, and yeah, she really helped with that. I did EPQ initially, and that wasn't quite right for me because I coursework-based subjects. It was a bit of an overload, so I dropped that and I did Ivy House when that came out, and I really enjoyed that actually. Sort of learning about yourself and like ways you learn, and finding things about your character and stuff that you never really think about normally. So I found that actually really helpful. Even for this, I know now, these are my certain set of strengths that I've discovered in that, and I know how to apply them now. I do think it helped with the interview. It really helped me discover about myself and also build up my confidence. So I felt I was a lot more confident going into it because I know my strengths now. If they're going to apply for apprenticeship, I would suggest, look at what field you want to go into, because obviously there's apprenticeships in everything, and so if you're going for a business one, obviously I do business, but I'd also find something creative, because I feel like you need that practical element, because if you can just think about it but you can't apply it, it's not really worth it. So I think having well-rounded subjects to put towards it. I joined Seaford in Year 7. When I was little, I feel like I wasn't as confident as I am now, so Seaford's really helped me build up my confidence throughout the years, academically and creatively, showing me what my strengths are and helping me excel in those. I feel like Seaford does definitely focus on you as an individual. They don't just see you as a whole class or just whole year. All the teachers, they learn, about each individual student. They know how to help them and what they're good at, and really help them that way.